Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, the Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. I welcome the podcast where me, the Captain, talks about movies, TV, sports, flicks, anything you can see on a tuber screen. I like to get here and give my unique perspective, because after 46 years of being on planet Earth, I've developed a unique perspective about this movie, TV, sports, and flicks to get and tell you about it. Because just maybe you care. And according to the stats, looks like you do care. I want to give a big shout out to Australia. Got some plays over in Australia this past week. Gracias, gratitude, Dodoraba. In Australia, I just saw this dude fight from Perth. He's from Perth, right? He's fighting the UFC. This dude from your country, oh my gosh, he was a ferocious, awesome fighter. I mean, he was in there just looking beautiful with the way he was fighting. It was so awesome. So awesome. We had some very cool fighters over there. Appreciate you listening. Gracias, gratitude. And just FYI, back day was School Bay Radio DJ, but never got a job. I think I never got a job because I didn't have the hunger. If I just would have been hungry like the wolf, that might have allowed me to become a radio DJ. But I didn't. It allowed me to become the greatest podcaster in the Matrix. Something to debate. Might be true, might not be true. But I said it on the internet. So it's gotta be true, right? Because everything on the internet is facts, not facts, true, false, propaganda, fake news, the Matrix. NFTs, EFTs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, millionaire, trillionaire, billionaire, 8 billion people on planet Earth. I don't know. I didn't make the internet. Ask people that made the internet. So when you're in line, just be aware, just watch out. Anyways, I can ramble all day, but I won't. Let's get right into the podcast. But first, a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes I rap, and on November 19th, 2022, I rapped again. I just dropped some new tracks over YouTube. They're also on iTunes and Spotify and Pandora, and they're all over the place. But I'm going to direct you to the YouTube page because I think YouTube is cool. And I heard all the cool kids are on YouTube. So we got some new tracks, just dropped 3 new tracks over at YouTube. And let me tell you, they're absolutely crazy. I suggest you listen to the track called Defying the Laws of Gravity. I made that in 2017. It is absolutely madness on wax. So in fact, I'm going to put the link to Defying the Laws of Gravity below. And you're going to hear one of the craziest, weirdest songs you've ever heard. I just listened to it today. I was like, wow, that is madness on wax. I would describe it as madness on wax. It is absolutely craziness. So check it out. If you want to hear craziness of me rapping to weird, crazy beats and rapping weirdly, check it out. I'll put the link below and hear the track called Defying the Laws of Gravity over YouTube. So check it out. Now let's get on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back again. I'm back, and I've had a very interesting week. Very interesting. One of the days this past week, I got 4 hours and 30 minutes sleep. So I got 4 hours and 30 minutes sleep. And on the day, I only got 4 hours and 30 minutes sleep. I had to do a lot. I had to go out in public and do a whole bunch of stuff. You know, and I was busy for a long period of time, and I got like no sleep. And I went to places, spaces, had to do things. There's a lot of stimuli for extended periods of time. And I just basked and I had to sit with it. And doing all this on 4 hours and 30 minutes sleep is not the greatest, most ideal situation. But you know what? When you're a space captain, you handle the business. You do what's necessary. Right? You do what's necessary. You say, who cares? 4 hours and 30 minutes sleep doesn't matter. Man don't care about all that. It's irrelevant. Who cares? Time, space, ticks on the clock, whatever. Who cares? I'm not concerned. Time is an illusion, right? Isn't time an illusion? So someone said, some smart guy said that. Maybe it's true. 4 hours, 30 minutes sleep doesn't mean anything. But seriously, a lot of times when there's a lack of sleep, that's when that monkey mind starts poking around the mind. The monkey mind starts creeping out. And if you know what I'm talking about with the monkey mind, talk about those thoughts, those negative thoughts. Your brain starts saying those. At least my brain does that sometimes. Sometimes when you get 4 hours and 30 minutes sleep and you got to do a lot of stuff, sometimes the monkey mind starts coming at your brain saying a bunch of stuff that's not very nice. And this time it didn't. But interestingly enough, I was listening to an old track from 1990s today, about an hour, 2 hours ago. And after listening to that song, monkey mind started poking his head around. Started saying some interesting things. Some disempowering words. Disempowering ideas. I was like, this is my brain saying that. My brain talks that way. Like, why would my brain talk that way? Oh my gosh, my brain's crazy. Disempowering words. Negative words. And like I said in the podcast before, words, language may shape reality. So I gotta tell my monkey mind brain, like, bro, you better stop right now. And I don't talk like that. And my monkey mind don't talk like that. So I had to civilize that monkey mind. He's now civilized. I gave that monkey mind a banana. Gave a banana and everything's good. So anyways, that was my week. And now I'm back. And I'm going to talk about my favorite franchise in the entire universe, in the entire multiverse, in the entire cosmos. And if you've been here before, you know what that is. But if you've not been here, I'm going to tell you what my favorite franchise in the entire cosmos is. My favorite franchise is the one, the only, Star Trek. I love it so much. It's my favorite show of all time. Show, franchise, universe of all time. And this week, I'm going to talk about Star Trek Prodigy Crossroads. Bum, 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 bum. Tell me what you gonna do. Bum, 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 bum. See you at the crossroads. You remember that song for Bone Thugs Harmony? Anyways, Star Trek Prodigy was called Crossroads this week. See you at the crossroads. And let me say this. The episode was phenomenal. And I'm going to talk all about it. Before I talk about it, let me tell you a couple things. First of all, there will be spoilers. And second of all, I do own some shares in the parent company of Star Trek. I want to be clear and transparent with you to let you know that I do own a little bit of shares in the parent company of Star Trek. Just got to tell you that to be clear and transparent. It's only fair that I say that. So I just want to let you know, to make you aware. So now that I told you that, let me get into my talk about Star Trek Prodigy. See you at the crossroads. So anyways, this week, another fine episode. And we got to see more real Janeway. Because for most of the season so far, we've seen hologram Janeway. But the last couple of episodes, we've seen real Janeway. And oh, I miss Janeway so much. And guess what? Janeway don't drink coffee no more. One of the most shocking revelations of this series, of the updated Janeway, is that Janeway don't drink coffee. Now, if you ever seen Star Trek Voyager from back in the day, you would know that Janeway drinks coffee the way Jean-Luc Picard drinks Earl Grey tea hot. So Jean-Luc Picard drinks Earl Grey hot. That's what Jean-Luc Picard drinks. And Janeway drinks coffee black, right? That's their thing. That's their drink. Their drinks, they drink that. But now, in the time of Star Trek Prodigy, Janeway does not drink coffee anymore. I couldn't believe it. I was almost furious. How could Janeway not drink coffee no more? It's absolute madness. Fire those writers. No, you guys are fine. You writers are fine. I'm just joking. I don't care. She drinks coffee, no more tea. Who cares? As we grow old, we change. I don't drink the same things I drank in 1998 as I drink now. I've evolved. My drinks are differently now. I still drink water, of course, but I'm drinking other beverages now. My beverage buying and drinking is way different than when I was younger. It only makes sense that back in the day, Janeway would drink coffee, and now she does not drink something else, right? So it's just, we grow, we change, we evolve, right? So anyways, that happened. And there was a lot of interesting things happening. And one additional thing I want to talk about real quick is that, they may be engaged in the Romulans. They may be crossing into neutral zones. And if you know about Star Trek and neutral zones and Romulans, it can get a little tense. get a little crazy, a little dangerous. And that's kind of where we're at. Looks like things get a little dangerous. Things get a little crazy. There's Romulans. There's neutral zones. And if you've never seen Star Trek before, you should check this out. Because when there's Romulans and when there's neutral zones, things get a little crazy, a little wild, a little dangerous, right? A little action-packed. And that's what's going down right now. So, Star Trek Prodigy is a very fun show. Very fun. It's so fun so far. But I feel this past episode, things got real, bro. Things got real quick. And when I saw the neutral zone pop up, and I saw the Romulans pop up, and I saw Janeway's going to cross the neutral zone, this is exactly what I said when I was watching TV. I was watching TV show and I said, things just got real. That's exactly what I said when I was sitting on the couch watching it. I was like, this show just got real, bro. Like, it got serious. Because like I said, Romulans, neutral zones, it gets real quick. If you go down the rabbit hole, watch a bunch of Star Treks, movies and TV shows, and you see the episodes that are involved with the Romulans and neutral zones, you see how real it does get. And ladies and gentlemen, it gets real. Prodigy just got real. Prodigy just evolved, bro. It was fun and happy, and it still is, but it got a little more realer, bro. It just really did. Yeah, it did. So this episode's fantastic, but I want to get at something a little bit deeper. So when I was watching the episode this week, I did notice that the Prodigy crew, when they finally came in contact with Starfleet, because they wanted to talk to Starfleet so they can tell them about the living construct and how it's dangerous to the Federation, right? So when they finally met up with them in reality, they seemed slightly intimidated. You know, they've dealt with hologram Janeway. They've seen the files on the computer of Starfleet. They know all about it. When they finally came face to face with the people that are Starfleet, Janeway included. Janeway in her outfit with her little comm badge, standing in the flesh. They seem slightly intimidated. And what I want to talk about is that in the real world, in the reality we live in societies and cultures we live in, sometimes the uniform, the outfits, the accessories we wear, the logos, right? These words that are on shirts, that are on jackets, the little pendants or whatever, these things that represent certain things. Sometimes you might come across them and feel a little intimidation. You know, there's maybe a little name tag with like a label and a title, and maybe you got a certain outfit or a certain shirt with a certain logo, a certain name. And you might come across people that have these, and you might feel a little bit of tension or intimidation or something slightly uncomfortable because of that. And that's what we saw in that. They saw Janeway in the flesh in her nice little outfit with her little comm badge. I felt they just seemed a little intimidated, a little slightly uncomfortable. And in the real world, it happens all the time. In the real world, when you encounter people that hold positions and titles and have certain logos and things, adornments on these shirts and jackets, sometimes there's just a little slight bit of uncomfortableness, intimidation, or there's a feeling of they're up here and I'm down here kind of thing, right? Which is all just social constructs. There's really no actual reality to that. It's just symbols, signs, and words and language that are doing that. But for whatever reason, the structure of the societies does kind of create that, right? I like to think that no one is better than anybody else. I'm not better than no one, and no one is better than me. We're all just the same, right? When you strip away all the roles and the titles and the names and all the groups and all these things, we're all exactly the same. Yeah, we may look different. Maybe our bodies are different, hair is different, face is different, skin tone's different, sound of voice is different. It don't matter. We're all the same. And all these little added layers of differences, it's just added by society. Society creates all these different categories that kind of separates us into these different groups, different categories, right? But they're all just made up. Sorta, maybe. Are they? I'm asking. I'm just exploring ideas here. Maybe none of that is true. Maybe it's all factual, actual. I don't know. I'm just thinking about these things, right? I mean, who knows? I don't know the answer to this stuff. I'm not an anthropologist, a sociologist, a psychologist, and any kind of ologist. I'm not an ologist. I didn't go to school to study these things. I'm no expert at this podcast. But I like to think and just ponder these things. Sit around and just think about stuff. And this is what I thought about. And when I saw Star Trek Prodigy, it kind of made me think about that. And maybe there's some truth to it. Maybe there's not. I don't know. I'm not sure. I may never know. But it's still cool to explore these ideas and these possibilities. These are all possibilities. These are all things that may or may not be true. I don't know. I feel that I may never know. Who knows? I don't know. So I'm just looking, observing, and thinking. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you may hear all this I spit on this podcast and these weird ideas and weird theories and weird perspectives. Say, oh, Captain, you're a strange man. I'm not trying to be strange or weird for weird or strange's sake or try to shock anybody or try to sound super intelligent or super weird. That's not even the goal. The goal is just to look at current global society, examine it, think about it. You know, as we come up in society and we go to schools and we go to our social groups and we talk to all these people and we all been shown to be a certain way from where we come from, and that's the way we live, and that's fine. But sometimes I like to step outside of all that and kind of observe maybe a new angle, new way of thinking about it. And maybe sometimes I'll be totally off. Maybe sometimes you hear me say, bro, you're so wrong. And that's very possible. But just trying to look at something and see the different possibilities and options of these things we're looking at. And this week I'm talking about roles, titles, and status. I mean, is this true? I don't know. I best sit in space, in quiet, and just think and observe. So anyways, the whole point of these podcasts is to just expand minds through movies, TV, sports, and flicks, and anything else the other two. Explore the infinite possibilities of existence through art. This is what we're doing here. This is the goal. This is the mission. This is the continuing mission to boldly go where no mind has gone before. And maybe we're achieving it. Maybe we're not. But come along for the ride. And I promise you, it'll be interesting. It'll get weird. It'll get crazy. It'll get strange. It'll get wild. It'll be exciting. I'll get loud. I'll say dumb jokes. I'll laugh a lot. I'll cry a lot. But this is the path. So come on, let's roll. Let's go. Let's expand the minds. Let's grow just a little bit more, like I said last time. So anyways, watch the Star Trek Prodigy. That's what I thought about this week. Another fine episode. You know what? I would follow Captain Janeway anywhere. I would do anything for that lady. I love Janeway so much. I always liked Captain Janeway. I used to watch Star Trek Voyager back in the day all the time. It was on UPN. I don't even know what UPN even stood for. That's how I watched it. And I watched it, and the repeats came out, I watched it again. I watched that a million times. Saw it over and over again. And something about Voyager I just like. In fact, back in the day, I liked Voyager more than I liked Deep Space Nine, right? Because they were out around the same time a little bit. And I just preferred Voyager over Deep Space Nine. I couldn't really get into Deep Space Nine back then. I didn't really appreciate Deep Space Nine until a little bit later. It's not that I didn't like it, but I liked Voyager a little bit better. So I've always liked Voyager. Something about Janeway. Something about 7 and 9 too. Ooh, 7 and 9. Whoa. Don't get me started on 7 and 9. I like 7 and 9. So anyway, Star Trek Prodigy was dope. Janeway is dope. Star Trek is dope. You might learn something from watching it. Go check it out. It's over at the Paramount Plus. And that's all I want to talk about this week. So until next time, we'll see. If somebody beats me, it's not because they outworked me. Lane Norton. Until next time, it's Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks Flicks.